Hello.
Hello and welcome back.
Welcome to the show. Jerid and Brian podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Jerid, and this is episode 10.
We made it, dude.
The end of the season.
Season 1. We're doing it in seasons. That's how it throws down, you know?
Yeah, so
we're excited about it, man.
Does that mean that am I gonna have to go back and rename all the episodes, or did they start back at
so.
1?
I don't think
episode 11, are we just saying this is the first...
episode 11. I think we should have it color coordinated. We'll figure it out for the viewers at home, but I thought it'd be cool to do it in season. We'll rock it out a little different. Why not, man?
That's important. If you think it's cool, I'm in.
Let's do it. I think together we go for
I think it's cool too.
Well, I appreciate that.
2 brains work better than 1.
Sometimes.
But then again, who knows?
They can cloud each other. It depends.
Yeah.
We work well.
So, talking about working well together, how we met was actually a vape company.
Which is the topic of today. We're going to talk about vapes.
What kind of a segue was that?
Well,
it was pretty good.
It was good.
It was good. I liked it.
We used to work together doing e-cigarettes. This was like, 10 years ago? Something like that. It was a while ago.
It was closer to 10 years ago than it was to 5 years ago.
Fair enough.
For sure.
Maybe 9.
I don't
know how specific we could be.
The higher spectrum of 5 to 10. Something like that, right?
Ish. Rounding it up. We're rounding it up.
I've been married for 5 years, and I worked there for at least 3, probably 8 to 9 years.
Is that how we do? I was married for this many, add a few?
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
You weren't married at the time when I met you.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's cool, man. Yeah, it was a crazy job. Dude.
Yeah. So we met initially at a sales job for e-cigarettes. Very interesting place. A lot of cool, fun stories. I'm sure we can go over
tons of fun stories, man. We had a good time. Time.
So the topic of today's show is vaping.
Vaping, man. It's all in the news.
It's all over the news. Just today, I believe, the 6th person
a girl died today.
A girl.
Oh, a woman. She was in her 50s, is what I saw.
Oh wow, 50s. So that's new because
she had health. I read that she had tons of health issues.
Okay,
but none of them would have made her die. Like right now, they say that she just started vaping like a week ago.
The vaping like kicked into high gear, whatever shit was wrong with her. Gotcha.
I don't know if that's what I was.
Seemed like an insensitive way to put it, but yeah.
Well, no, they said she was sick, but it wasn't what she was sick from that killed her. They said that separately it was the vaping thing. They just happened to throw in that she was sick.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm just trying to be fair to both sides, man.
No, I'm with you. Well, the interesting part about it is A, she's a woman, and B, she's in her 50s. Because right now, the median age is 19 years old for these people that have died. And they're males.
Most of them are male, that's correct.
Yeah, and just to throw out a couple numbers, there's over 450 open cases of people with lung illness at this point. It's pretty much males between 17 and 35. And 87% of these people also admit to vaping a THC product.
Right.
So the thing is, I've heard about it a few times since I've pretty much, you yourself as well, have spanned myself into the industry of vaping through and through with the e-cigarettes, with the THC products. So people are asking me, oh, man, vaping, what's going on with it? Because they look at me kind of a knowledgeable person in the field. And the first thing I usually say is, well, it's probably THC products. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But people, I think the way it's being portrayed in the media is really a dig at e-cigarettes in general.
That's what you read. Whenever you're reading it or you look up anything about vaping, it just kind of puts it all together. But when you dig a little deeper, I do see that it seems to be primarily THC products that are really doing this.
Yeah, because I think it's because like a few months ago there were stories about the Juul, that's like the super high potent pod cigarette. So people were having like strokes or something of that nature, and kids were getting addicted and they didn't know how to quit. And I mean, of course, it's a highly addictive substance. I mean, it's like more addictive than heroin, isn't it?
Nicotine is so beautiful.
If you could quit,
it just is really good.
If you could quit smoking nicotine, you could try heroin and successfully quit.
Give it a shot.
Why not, right?
That's your own risk.
I myself did. I quit nicotine, so I could try heroin if I wanted to.
Give it a shot.
I'm not going to.
That's probably
give it a shot, no pun intended. But so there's about 450 open cases right now in 30 different states, and I'm just reiterating that. But so a lot of the people that are telling me the story or they're asking me questions, they all feel like it's nicotine-based vapes. And I'm not saying that nicotine-based vapes are the best thing for you, and they're not completely unhealthy, whatever.
I mean, well, you got to think because we're adults. No offense if you're a teenager, but you're still developing, You know, so I think it's 25 is when you're pretty much officially done developing, right?
Yeah, and I think
So you're still, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because a lot of these kids are using Juuls. There's no way they smoke cigarettes.
No, well,
beforehand.
that's easier to just get into it. You could just puff it. I mean, when I started smoking cigarettes, and the thing is, when you smoke a cigarette, you fucking burn one. Maybe you chain smoke a few, but that's the extent of it. With these Juul things, or with any e-cigarette, really, you just sit there and puff, dude. Right?
Yeah.
You're just sitting there burning. I mean, when we were traveling around and shit, we'd just be smoking all fucking day.
Yeah.
There's no way that could be good for you. And we were at least developed. We weren't like fucking 16.
Yeah, and they're saying these kids, they don't know what. Imagine being 16 and being strung out on Juul, right?
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do? Tell your parents, dude, I'm smoking Juul?
Super hyped up.
I need it. I heard. What if they got no money? I remember being a cigarette smoker at 20, and and I had to go to the liquor store with pennies. Do you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And they wouldn't even take it. I had to argue with the guy for like 5 minutes, and I was like, dude, it's money. You take it. You give me products. That's how it works. The guy behind me finally.
How many pennies?
Oh, it was all pennies.
The whole thing.
At the time, a pack of cigarettes was $3.35.
Yeah, when I first started, 3 and change.
I had 2 quarters, the rest pennies.
Fuck.
But the thing is, who cares? It's money, right?
It's money.
I'm buying fucking cigarettes with them. I'm not like,
yeah, it's like, you know,
I didn't go to the car lot with pennies.
It's not
you know
every
what I mean?
time. It's just there's pennies.
Yeah, so I just really, my thought was, I'll just wait until someone behind me gets irritated and offers to pay, and I'll offer them the pennies. I was 20 years old.
Fair enough.
So, I guess what I'm getting at is, if I was a teenager going to high school, I guess it's just people selling them to friends.
I don't know how that works.
How do they get them?
I'm sure it's not that hard. I mean,
I'm
we
sure
got
it's not that
alcohol
hard, but
underage.
But if you're at your house and you're a teenager and you're addicted and you're like 14, 15 and you can't get one, that got to be crazy, dude. I can't imagine.
I mean,
like,
you'll be fine. It's the same thing as a cigarette smoker.
But they're saying like that's part of the issue is like their brains are underdeveloped. They're not fully there yet, and they're dealing with this like intense addictive thing that they can't even like. I don't know, man. It's just it's part of it. It's part of it in extremely high dosages. If you're taking in that much nicotine, they're saying that kids are smoking up to like 2 pods a day.
Jesus, dude.
That's that much, bro.
Jesus.
There's no way that's nothing. They'll get
I was
over
smoking
it.
a pack a day at like fucking 17, 18. That's when I started with 17.
And you can
I
go
was immediately.
And you could go a day without smoking and you're just fine?
Nah, but I would have to. I was poor, man. I didn't have that money. So.
Well, you were 18.
But at least it was a cigarette. I'm puffing it. Once I'm done, that's out. Maybe I could bum one. But with these, you do have to, you know, spend some good coin for it. You know, I was spending $3. What is the thing now? Like fucking 16 bones or something like that?
I don't get them, but they got to at least be $20 for like 4 of them, dude. If not more. Think about that.
Yeah.
E-liquid, you're paying $5 for 1 mil.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a shitload of
that's a ton
money.
That's a ton of dough, dude.
Wow. So okay, but
Whatever.
that's not what's important. Who cares? It should be more. It should be more. You should be paying $100 if you want 5. But so I guess what I wanted to initially say is a lot of it's being grouped together, and I think it's causing a lot of people to have a lot of fear around actual just regular e-cigarettes. Fair enough. I think you should question that.
Sure.
But even when I was watching like news clips, the first news clips talks about the fact that there's THC products out there and so forth and so on. But like everything after that I watched, unless it was like an article that I read, really didn't mention THC at all. It was just e-cigarettes.
It just says vaping.
Vaping.
I'll see it say THC. I see it say e-cigarettes, but most of the time it just says vaping. And I've noticed on a couple articles, even when it's referring to vaping, when it's referring to THC, it will say e-cigs, and it'll put THC in an e-cig category. So whether it's nicotine or not.
So I guess that's where a lot of confusion is stemming from. And because the way I look at it is the United States is not the only country where people vape.
No.
I mean, it got to be in Canada, South America.
It's got to be around.
I can name all the continents.
You gonna?
I think Antarctica is probably the only continent which vaping does not happen on.
It's got the highest per capita.
So in the United States, to be very special and have all these cases, I definitely think we can say it's more likely going to be THC products. But the reason I bring up the e-cigarettes into this is there's somewhat of a conspiracy. You know what I mean? Always. You into it?
Let's do it.
Who cares?
We're diving in.
So I thought you were going to say no. I prematurely said who cares. But
of course I care.
Of course you care, man. Of course this is important shit, bro. Dude. So I don't know if you heard about this, but San Francisco banned flavored e-cigarette flavors.
Right. They're trying to do that in Los Angeles now.
They're trying to do it in Los Angeles. They just did it in Michigan.
I didn't hear about Michigan.
Totally banned flavored e-liquids.
Oh, yeah. It's totally banned. That's right.
Totally banned. So I think the sale of e-cigarettes in general might be banned in San Francisco. It's like some crazy shit like that.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
ironically, that's where Juul is based out of, which is like Juul is worth I think $65 billion more than any. It's worth more than Target. You know what I'm saying? It's a large e-cigarette company.
Is that for real?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
worth more than Target?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So the conspiracy, whatever you may call it.
Sure.
So they're saying that now coming to light is these flavored e-liquids because of the flavoring component. Because when it comes to nicotine liquid, there's only a few components here. You have the nicotine itself that's derived from tobacco or other various forms of the tobacco plant, whatever the case may be, leaf, whatever. Then you have
like a propylene glycol.
Cutting agents, PG and VG, propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin. And then you have the flavoring. Now, the flavoring is pretty dialed in these days. You know what I mean? But
more so than it used to be.
Very more so than it used to be. I mean, I remember mixing that shit in like a kitchen, in blenders. Very sketchy.
We knew a guy that was mixing it in a tub. That's all I'll say. But he was the dude in Texas, I believe.
No, in Texas is actually very legitimate, but this guy was in Corona.
Not to say Texas isn't.
So I currently am working with people in Texas, and they've never made anything bad tips. But no.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah,
this was a long time.
But hey, you know what? That was the biggest area he had to mix something in.
That makes sense, I guess, as long as it's clean.
If he lined it with plastic, do you feel better about it?
Sure.
Who cares?
You know, and I heard that mint is like one of the worst, but I heard all the the vanilla, those types of flavors are the worst.
Yeah, so those flavors, they have something in them that causes like potential popcorn lung, something of that nature. So what I'm getting at is the only ingredient that like, well, you know, could be sketchy here in the long run is more than likely the flavoring. So that's why they want to ban the flavors. Also because it appeals to kids, which I think is bullshit.
Everything. I mean, come on.
I mean,
remember Prime Times and Weird Kids didn't have those anymore?
They got Mike's Hard Blackberry Lemonade. Like out there, we don't got to get into that. But they were saying that it promotes itself to kids. Cool. I mean, we're all big kids. Sometimes we want shit that looks like, you know, nostalgic, I guess you would say.
Why not?
Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop saying who cares. I feel like that's going to be my no, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
The who cares is mine. I try to actually refrain from it. But because somebody commented on it. They're like, "Who cares? Is my new thing."
You lost it. I
don't want to be too negative about it. I usually say stuff like that, but it's in a positive light if that means anything.
So finally, when we're on the same page with who cares, you're letting it go.
Well, I'm just
picking it up.
I'm just saying.
Who cares?
You get more aware.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Look it up. So, the flavoring, they're saying that when vaporized to a certain temperature, or in general, they're saying when vaporized, it's formaldehyde. So people are inhaling formaldehyde.
Awesome.
And so they did all these studies, like 5-6 years ago, that said there really was no formaldehyde present in vaping. There's really not a whole lot of danger to it. Yeah, we don't know what's going on here completely long term because it's only been around for a few years now.
Yeah.
But from here, we're saying that it's way better than cigarettes and you don't have as many worries. So now, in lieu of all these things coming out, what they're saying is there is a lot of formaldehyde present, 5 to 15 times more than would be in a cigarette. But in this study, what they don't mention is this is when you, to put it into perspective, if you have an e-cigarette, there's settings, let's say. You could be at 5 volts.
Right.
And let's say 5 volts is where you should be. There's in studies where 5 volts, where you should be vaporizing liquid, there was no formaldehyde present. But when you cranked it up, to 10, there was some formaldehyde present, which fair enough. If you go up way too high, it can get dangerous, but its levels, it can't be enjoyable past the first hit. You're burning the shit because it's really the coil that's burning it up and becoming that substance.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you see all these big cloud puffing. Dude. That's
but you know
intense.
what? But it is dangerous. People are intaking way too much of it. So I do see maybe they should regulate here and there.
Yeah.
But banning the flavors. So now I'm getting really lost in what I'm getting at. The conspiracy.
We got it.
I'm not going to circle back. I'll wait a little bit to circle back again and summarize. But so Michigan just banned the flavored e-cigarettes. Juul, like 6 months ago to 8 months ago, stopped selling all flavored pods. And some people are speculating that Juul, because now they're actually owned by, I think it's Marlboro. I think like Marlboro bought most of it.
Was it Reynolds?
Or Reynolds?
Or Winston?
It's cigarettes. A big tobacco company, right? So I've heard from a few sources that big tobacco companies completely bought them out. I've heard from other people that it was like 35%, regardless. So big tobacco owns Juul.
It would only make sense for them to jump in because that seems like that's where it's going.
They're making way more money. I think a pack of cigarettes costs 15 cents, where a Juul pod cannot cost more than 60 cents. You know what I'm saying?
But it's just the numbers. They're selling this. This is selling. Let's buy into this too because it's.
I think there is.
This. It makes sense that they do something.
I think ultimately there's probably more profitability in Juuls. To be honest with you,
and it seems more people are doing that. Cigarette smokers that I know are now smoking vapes. It's easy.
Cigarette smokers are on the outside kind of now.
A little on the outside.
They always have been, but now they're like metaphorically on the outside.
Deep.
Crazy. So
shit gets real.
Yeah, it gets real quick. Damn. Okay, I remember. So they 3 years ago, and I'm kind of all over the place. It's okay. There was a regulation that was going to come out that said potentially you can't sell refillable e-cigarettes. Only things that came filled, you were able to sell. So if you go in line with what Juul has done, it seems like Juul's always kind of working with the current. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they have that all-enclosed system, that closed-loop system. You can't refill it. And I think they came out around the same time.
That's sketchy, too. I know people who will refill them. I don't think that that's very smart.
And you could buy pods that you could fill yourself.
Yeah, you could buy the pods you can fill yourself. And, they buy syringe or whatever the official word is for that. And then they just fill the pod that already had liquid in it.
They reuse it.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Recycle.
It's an intelligent thing to do. I don't know if it's smart to refill it with a syringe. Who fucking knows?
Whatever.
So what I'm getting at is Juul kind of moves in a big tobacco way, and for big tobacco to retake over all these sales that they've been losing over. I mean, how many vape shops are there? Any vape shops that are open right now means cigarette companies are not making as much money as they could because these are all cigarette smokers, right? So the idea is Juul is working as big tobacco, and if they ban all flavors, vape shops are going to be out of business. There's no reason for vape shops to almost exist at that point. I mean, the flavors are really if you go into a vape shop, that's what they got.
Right.
Flavored liquid.
That's the whole bit. Shelves of liquid.
If bars couldn't sell flavored drinks, they'd be like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They figured it out, I'm sure. But so it's kind of a play to get the media, to get everybody against e-cigarettes. Because ultimately, Juul has enough money to say, we did studies, we're all good, it's all this other shit, whatever they want to do. But just to throw out there, it could be a little bit of propaganda in order to really buckle down and ban these flavors so these people that own vape shops don't stand a chance to compete with big companies like Juul, who are inevitably going to be the number one person forever. More than likely, they already are. But so there are people, because on Instagram, I follow some vape shops and whatnot that I deal with, and that's what they're saying, that people have been vaping for 11 plus years. It's done in every country pretty much, and the United States is the only people that have an issue with it. So the media is kind of using the THC vape issue, which we'll get more into in a second, and combining it with the e-cigarettes to further the agenda of trying to get flavors banned and put all of the profit into Juul.
It's business. That's how they do things.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess, but it's on a pretty crazy level.
Totally. Well, I mean, isn't it all? I mean, that's all.
I guess, yeah, when you put it into perspective, if we just broke it down to 5 people at a table trying to accomplish making the most money, and Juul was one of the people sitting at that table,
they always use what they can to turn things around. I wish I had all the information here, so this is going to be another look it up. But you remember the McDonald's, the lady with the coffee, and she spilt it on her junk, and and that was a big thing. McDonald's used that to make her the victim when she didn't even really want to sue them. She just couldn't afford the hospital bill because the lid wasn't put on right or something like that. And then all the coffee that went on there completely damaged.
So she didn't want to sue?
She just wanted to get her shit fixed. And there was a whole... So here's the bit. That's all I've got, but it's interesting. Look that up. McDonald's used that to further their agenda and to make it look like she was a piece of shit. And that's how everyone went. The coffee's too hot. Watch out. You could sue. And it was like a big joke. But it really goes to show that the companies will use whatever they can, turn it around for their own, gain.
Maybe a bunch of people just went and bought coffees thinking they could sue them if they spilled it on themselves.
Look it up. I'm asking you to look this shit up now.
I might forget.
Well, it's on footage. We have this filmed.
I've seen a show about that scenario, but
it's not what we thought.
I don't know why I said that, because I can't bring anything more to the table because of that.
That's why I felt bad for bringing it to the table, but it's good to throw things on the table. It expands your mind a little, maybe.
Cool. Look it up. That's look it up for the episode.
Hashtag.
Okay, so to end the e-cigarette nicotine side.
The nicotine side.
To end the nicotine side, Do I think nicotine cigarettes or e-liquid is great? No. I think if you don't use them, you shouldn't. And unless you want to keep using them for the rest of your life, you probably should quit at some point, right? But I can't tell you what to do with those. We're in the United States. As long as you're 18 or over, do your thing.
Is it 18 or is it 20 now? I thought it was
I think
21
it's
for cigarettes.
different states, I think. Okay,
Here it was 21 for cigarettes.
Whatever age your state is, if you're in a state, legally do your thing, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
But, as far as the whole agenda with Juul, that could be a real thing. And there are a lot of people that feed their families based off of vape stores that they open and put a lot of sweat equity into. So hopefully these people don't get completely ran out of business on some propaganda moves. We'll see. Yet to be seen. So let's get into the THC side, though, because I feel like this is really what people should be talking about. It's sketchy.
I agree. Well, the more you look
sketchy.
into it, you see that it happens to just be the components, a lot of cutting agents that they use for these THC products in the pods. And the thing I'm seeing the most is that they're using this vitamin E acetate. And when you burn it, it goes into your lungs. And then that vitamin E acetate covers the inside of the lungs, and it does not absorb the oxygen and put it in your blood as it usually should. And that's where some of these lung problems are coming into play.
It sounds scary.
It is scary. That sounds scary.
If someone hit me up like, yo, bro, I got this vape.
I got that vitamin E
acetate,
I got this, son.
A lot of them it's a brand called Dank Vapes. And I'll get into the whole conspiracy within Dank Vapes in a second as well. But if someone hit you up like, yo, dog, I got this shit, vitamin E, fills up your lungs, lines them up, makes it real hard for the oxygen, gets you real high. I'm like, cool, bro.
Well, that's actually a thing, because I'm seeing that, it seems that percentage-wise or numbers-wise that this is happening more so maybe in states that don't have products like they do here, or they have some sort of like a legalized setup.
So my understanding of it, and it might be interesting, it might not be, but so...
That's a nice way to start something.
Because, I don't like to tell people this is the best movie you're ever going to see, or this restaurant's the best food you're ever going to have.
Why say anything?
It's
just give them a slice of pie. And
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Here's some pie, eat it or not, right? So with the THC vapes, people don't understand, I think, how many of these things are getting smoked. It's an insane amount. Like, for instance, I used to distribute the empty cartridges to labs that would fill them up. And I had one customer alone. And whether or not they were filling them in legitimate settings, going to legitimate retailers, I don't fucking know. It was a referral, and I sold these units to them, but they were buying upwards of like $60,000 a month. This is one person. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's one person. There's other people that I knew that were selling upwards of 200,000 of these a month. And this is just a few people in one state. And the main company that sells, there's two of them, C-Cell and another one called AOD. I want to say they did combined over like 5 million a month in these units. So I guess what I'm getting at is,
it's a lot.
I don't think people realize how many of these pieces are really out there. Do you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the availability of what people are getting, like you said, the first case happened in Illinois, the second in Indiana. I don't even know the regulations in those states.
I'm not sure either.
So I'm not going to comment on that, but it doesn't have to. It's obviously underage people or who's being affected. And when it comes to these cartridges, there are legitimate ones that are lab tested, that are getting the protocol done. Those are the ones that are like $50, $60 in a dispensary that pays licensing, that makes all of their vendors have their products tested like 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, it's expensive shit, yeah.
So it's expensive. So people, they don't want to pay that price, because if as the grower of a product I pay taxes, as the extractor of a product I pay taxes, as a distributor I pay taxes, and on the retail end I pay taxes, that's going to be a very expensive product for you to buy. You have to pay for all those people that have had to pay taxes on it. Right. So
it adds up.
On the black market, let's say I just want to buy packaging that resembles like a fake Gucci purse. I could find the most popular brand in California, and I could get knockoff packaging, and I can fill it with whatever I want.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard if you knew what you're doing.
It's very easy.
Totally.
I walked into buildings of people that I sold to, and they asked me if I can get certain products. And I was like, oh, no, man, I don't deal with that. I'm not really trying to sell the fake stuff necessarily. And they would show me rooms full of the packaging. Like, yeah, dude, we need more because we're going to go through this in like a month. Like Brass Knuckles. You ever heard of Brass Knuckles?
I've heard of it.
At one point, I think the legitimate brand was moving 200,000 units a month in California. The illegitimate pieces were selling up to $2 million a month.
Damn.
And at one point, there was a lawsuit saying that brass knuckles was, I don't know how deep I want to get, but when you grow cannabis, when you grow marijuana, you want to fend off certain elements like bugs, nature, and there's organic ways to do this. Maybe you spray some cayenne pepper on it. You have some stuff that works, or you could just get pesticides and you could spray them on your plants. So when you extract the cannabis after it's been sprayed, a lot of those pesticides will remain in the concentrate, right? So, and vaping those, of course, can't be a good look.
No way.
And Brass Knuckles got sued because people were getting sick off of their products. So they really didn't care that they were getting ripped off that much because it kind of made it easier for them. It's like, well, chances are it was a black market product. Right. So it has worked in the advantage of these companies for those reasons. And now, though, with Prop 64 in California, it's more regulated. Companies can't do that anymore as much. But dank vapes, to talk about dank vapes for a second. So that is, if you look at any of these articles that mention THC, there's like a little box and it says dank on it. Have you seen those?
No.
So the whole idea is there's a company called Dank Vapes. And if you go online, you look them up, there's people literally, I think we talked about the whole Instagram privacy thing. Mm-hmm. There's people on Instagram that just peddle them. Like, hey, on their picture, it says 5 of these for $50. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, DM me for wholesale. I ship. All this. People go on lives and like, yo, hit, like, so let's say you're doing an IG live and you're talking about something. I'm on your IG live saying, yo, hit me up. I ship, cartridges, or I ship pounds of weed. It's like, you feel like, so it's very, very low key people here.
Totally.
So the whole thing is Dank Vapes is, at one time it was portrayed as being a legitimate brand. There was a company in California called Dank Vapes, and, their product was clean, but people were faking it and putting whatever they wanted in it. And that's what was like the gross product with all the pesticides. Sure. They would advertise 90% THC. They tested at like 30%. But the thing is, Dank Vapes has never been a legitimate company. It's just a packaging company. It's kind of like if we want to have a network of people that are selling illicit products and we don't want any tie to it, what do? We just umbrella it all under the same
I'm sure this
brand.
Happens a lot.
It probably does. But the scary thing is, every like month or so, people will add effects to the packaging. Like, oh no, the real ones have a hologram right here.
Nice.
The real ones have a sticker right here. So there's like an ever evolving thing of like how you know if your dank vape is legit. And in people that are in states that have no access to legitimate cannabis products, this is what they're getting pretty much. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think the epidemic is really within those illicit products. So 17 to 35 is the average median of age, and it's mainly male, and 87% of them are admitting that they're smoking THC products. So my guess is the majority of this is related to what you were talking about with the vitamin E. For people that don't understand how vitamin E is being inhaled or why, I think you said they cut it, right?
It's a liquid cutting agent. Yeah, we explained it. It's just a liquid cutting agent.
And it's fairly new. So
it's a way to basically, like, you would cut a drug. You cut this to get more, and your profit increases without using more of the actual vaping liquid.
And an interesting fact about that, so there's 3 companies that are selling this product, and like everyone's been scrambling for the perfect solution to cut cannabis oil with, because cannabis oil in its purest form is extremely thick, extremely viscous. Like if you put it in a tube and you put it upside down, there shouldn't be a bubble raising. And that was a whole thing. People were getting tired of buying these THC products and there's bubbles flipping over when you turn the cartridge upside down, because obviously this means it must not be a pure product. So from a manufacturing standpoint, the race was to find something they can cut it with that would maintain the thickness, that would maintain the color, and it wouldn't oxidate. So vitamin E, some geniuses decided this was the solution. And like 3 companies probably made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And all they did was they just rebranded vitamin E as something called Honeycut. So there's people that just sold vitamin E for those reasons. So what I'm getting at, when it comes to the nicotine, do what you're gonna do if you're of legal age, whatever. When it comes to the THC products, I would highly advise to stay away from anything that's in dank vape packaging. I know I said anyone has access to packaging. So I guess in theory it could be good, it could be bad, but definitely stay away. Do you know what I'm saying? I would urge people to stay away.
Just smoke flowers.
From my experience, yes. Definitely stay closer to the organic end of the spectrum. And try to buy products that are in licensed shops if you're in a legal state. I mean, even here in California, we're in the valley. There's like 5 illegal stores within a mile of here.
Dude, there's tons.
Right?
Tons.
So, and these stores have no regulations on what they're selling.
You can tell because of price. You can tell because the ones that are a pain in the ass to go to, really, from a customer perspective, if they're a pain in the ass and everything seems expensive, those are usually the shops that are generally doing it the legit way.
Yeah.
Not to give anybody else a hard time, because I like the shops that are easy peasy, man, to be honest. But those are the ones who are doing it right. The ones who are charging an arm and a leg, and they're kind of a pain in the ass to go to.
And there are compassionate people that are trying to hook people up and selling them possibly good products. It's always both ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But I would just say, as a health advisory, probably stay away from vaping cartridges for a little bit of time here.
Let's figure out what's going on first before we do.
Because the ingredient that's hurting people is like the main cutting agent for the majority of cartridges. It's not like a few companies were using this. It's like all the people that were backyard boogieing cartridges were using this. So I would definitely stay away, whatever the term may be, from those, especially the ones marked like dank vapes, there's cereal carts, Monopoly carts, exotic carts. I mean, if it has a cartoon character on it, or like a cereal flavor, or if it looks like a 5-year-old,
yeah, they have cereal flavor.
Yeah,
why would
they
you
have
want that?
Cereal carts.
If I was going for something, I'd want something that said Kush or like Skywalker, just some, I wouldn't get something that says fucking Frosted Flakes.
Man,
we're older, maybe
we're older.
Well, I'm on the flowers. That's I think that would be the best way to go if you had to do anything. But that's that's me being separate from anything.
Hey man, you don't want to get too far removed from the organic element. But so that's just kind of a public announcement, a public service announcement from somebody who knows a little bit more possibly than others. It's all bad shit.
You're welcome.
Nothing out there that you're buying illegally more than likely is of quality. You know why? Because anything that's of high quality is probably not making it out to you for $10 to $20 for that cartridge.
Yeah, be skeptical.
It's not going to happen.
Be a little bit skeptical.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even regardless. So definitely try to stay away from those. Do your own research more than anything. If you are going to buy something, do your research. Make sure you know who you're buying it from. See who I don't know. I would just stay away from illegal shit at the moment, because even people that think they're doing it right and are removing a lot of the other dangerous elements are probably using this ingredient to cut it with.
Yeah, you should go through things with a healthy sense of skepticism in general. Yeah. That's the way I like to think. You should have some questions. For now, considering it's a hot topic, I would just kind of steer clear a little bit. But you never know. Yeah. People trying to make a quick buck. So one time I was in Vegas and this dude was just like, I got a quarter for like $20.
Weed?
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's see what you got, bro. He pulled it out, and it was like little mini pieces of cabbage, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, that's cabbage. He's like, nah, bro, this is real shit. It's a fire shit, son. And I was just like, that's cabbage, bro. Thank you anyway. But he tried.
What if next year...
He tried to sell fucking cabbage.
Hey,
it's crazy.
Props to him, bro. That takes guts, dude.
It takes super guts.
Like, did he have it in a baggie?
Yeah, it was rolled up.
I was gonna say, because if his end,
just a pocket full of
his end goal was to get you to accept.
No, he had bags. He had it rolled up like
hand.
It was the real deal. It was like a super crowded Vegas Strip situation.
I would say if he was selling coke and it was like something else, kudos to him. But like,
that's really not kudos, because that's sketchy. It's just powder. You're gonna be fucking killing people.
What I'm saying is, don't fuck with people that just want to buy some weed, dude. You know what I'm saying?
And I wasn't even looking. He came up to me. Just like, all right, well, let me see it. But anyway.
So he just had cabbage.
It was just like little.
What if like in 1 year, dude? Like in from now.
Many years ago though.
But maybe he's that ahead of his time.
This is like fuck.
Maybe
12 years
next
ago
year some
like
news
that.
story comes out like, hey, bro, like this new thing is hitting hard. It's like the newest weed. It looks just like cabbage.
Got that devil's lettuce.
It looks
for real
like
plan.
cabbage. Everything. But you smoke this shit and it's crazy. Like one dude discovered it and it was hard. It was hard for him to sell this. You know what I mean? He was on the streets of Las Vegas trying to get it into new users' hands. For way cheap. It's $100 a quarter right now. He was peddling it off at $20 for a quarter, and nobody would take it. And now they interview him on the news, and he's a billionaire.
You never know.
Cabbage.
Hey, you never know the industry, bro. Industry.
I'm just saying, how cool would that be?
Would it? It'd be all right. I don't know. I don't care.
It'd be cool.
It'd be cool for him.
That's good. I mean, there is some crazy shit going on right now what people are trying to do. But yeah, I don't know if people are going to smoke cabbage in the near future. They are dabbing
That was
mustard.
a risk. That was a risk. Tell me about it.
Mustard.
Tell me about it. I don't know about the dabbing mustard.
So there's a guy on Instagram, the Cannabis Squirrel.
That's his name?
That's his name, bro.
All right, let's go.
He got a bowl cut.
Let's do it.
And he wears like
Cannabis Squirrel, and he has a bowl cut?
And he wears like
this
United...
dude's stacking up points,
He's
bro.
wearing like United States shirts or like flag shirts and like Daisy Duke cut off.
He's wearing
shorts.
Daisy Dukes?
Yeah. And he's from Alabama. His crew is the Alabama Boys, I think, bro. Okay? These are some real serious dudes that do insane shit. For instance, a dab is when you get a quartz bucket, attach it to a bong, you heat up the quartz, you put the concentrate in, it vaporizes, you inhale it. You know what I'm saying? If you know what it is, you do. If you don't, you probably don't even care. But normally you put THC concentrates into this. What these guys are doing is they're all about mustard, dude. So they're just pouring mustard.
You saw this clip?
Yeah, of course I saw this clip as well as millions of people, man. This is a thing.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Star. But yeah, so he'll put mustard in it. And then
like a drop, or is he filling the bowl?
And then he eats it afterwards. Sometimes they'll use mustard as bong water. It's like a thing, dude.
That's so heinous.
Like the internet spawned stupidity because stupidity is fun.
It would be like Jackass in our day. That was kind of a new deal.
Yeah,
or like Big Brother magazine, shit like that. Like,
which I watched, by the way. I watched.
That was good, right?
It was good. I liked it.
It was a recommendation. Yeah. Big Brother the documentary.
Yeah, how fun would it be if it's like, hey, watch me pay an exact change right now. Hey, watch me help a lady across the street. Watch me fill my gas.
Benevolence
safely.
Doesn't get hits.
Do you know what I'm saying? So people really do some dumb shit.
Doesn't get hits.
And I think in the first episode we talked about the internet and how people are doing dumb stuff. But this is literally people are becoming millionaires, successful, based off of doing dumb shit online.
Online, dude. It's cool.
It's crazy, but it's spawning some dumb stuff like
he's got to live that forever. He's gonna be like a 60-year-old dude. Dabbing mustard.
Yeah, but in the future, do people care? We're all here.
Maybe that's the thing.
In the future,
you're buying lettuce by the quarter and you're dabbing fucking mustard by the ounce.
Cabbage.
Oh yeah, I said lettuce because the devil's lettuce.
Lettuce will be the hustle against the cabbage.
That's
It'll be fake cabbage.
Some dude in Vegas will be trying to be selling fucking lettuce saying it's cabbage.
Yeah. Okay, so let us get closer to the end on this by summarizing that don't smoke illegal vape cartridges.
We're not trying to twist your cabbage.
Let's not get too cabbaged out. Let's not do this to each other. Let's stick to the organics and so forth and so on. Also, what was the last thing we were talking about?
Dabbing mustard. That's just
because the most popular video he has is he smokes out a Camel. He's smoking a blunt, doinks, as they call them. The kids are calling them doinks. Did we call them doinks in our generation?
Oh wait, what's a doink?
Like big joints, doinks.
Nah, dude, it was just a fucking big joint
or
a blunt.
Yeah, I guess.
Or you could double joint it, or the
cross
double
joint?
Blunt. Well, there's the cross, but just you take two papers and you roll them together. Usually, I see that with blunts though, but it's like a super long one. Why?
They
just
call
roll
it
two blunts.
the Chipotle.
Why?
I don't know. I just made that up. No one calls it that.
But that's just what are you gonna do with that?
But yeah, so he's smoking a doink. A big ass joint.
Smoking a doink?
And he's like...
That sounds like something else.
It's just so funny to me, dude. This goofy, like, white kid, like, obviously meme attire, listening to some super hardcore, like, hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? And he's next to a camel, and the camel actually takes a puff off of the doink and blows out smoke.
I thought he was like fucking blowing it in his face or something. He's handing it to the camel.
Nah, so he's like with the doink,
Is that the camel or is that the dude?
The dude. You're the camel, right? So like the dude's over
I'll be the
here.
camel.
Yeah, you're the camel. The dude's like, I go, big doinks, only big doinks. I think it's like big doinks only. It's like the mantra.
Okay.
Get out of here with your doink dinks. Big doinks only. And he's smoking a doink. Very serious episode. Cool? Very serious episode about health issues. But he's smoking a doink, and then he just goes, yo. And then the camel, you don't have to do it, but the camel.
You wanted me to lean in? I felt it in the eyes.
But the camel can't.
So he goes for it.
But the camel can't resist the doink.
He's been doinked.
And then he's like, dude, it's the funniest shit.
So what, does the camel get all super baked? You see him like walking around? Is that animal stuff? That's animal stuff right there.
Animals can't hang on the THC, bro.
You can't do
CBD fine. CBD's fine for them. But yeah, THC ain't cracking for animals.
That's not good, man. You don't want to get your cat high.
It's not good.
That's fucked up for them. They don't know what's popping.
Yeah.
They don't know that they got high.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Placebos don't work on animals. It sounds like such an obvious, but it's kind of mind blowing to think about. Like, yeah,
well, it's because we overthink.
You can't fuck with animals like that. You can't say, "Here's a pill." They know. They
Talking
don't.
about
They
organic. They got in the mind. The organics is primitive. Man.
Yeah. So shout out to the cannabis squirrels smoking big doinks with
doinking
camels.
it with the dudes.
The other video is some dudes in like I don't know where, but they give a chimpanzee a dab. A big
actual dab.
An actual dab.
That's fucked up, dude. Dabs will fucking knock you on your ass.
And then it's just a video montage of the monkey. Like progressively he's tired. He's eating all kinds of food. Like it's bad. I think that is animal abuse.
That's totally animal abuse.
For sure. That's,
I mean,
it's kind of weird that we had to debate the doink.
If the monkey knew and it was up to him, then that would be a little bit different. I mean, because remember they had that one chimp who would smoke cigarettes and ride on a bike and shit, like the fucking I don't know. Like
I don't think he wanted to smoke initially. I think
yeah, exactly.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. He got handed it, and then from there on. But that's up to him.
I like though how we
he's got to learn how to quit.
We questioned whether or not a camel taking a puff off a giant doink was animal cruelty.
Well, at least this guy was smoking a cigarette like a pimp. He wasn't hitting doinks, bro.
But the dab to the, of course, that's animal abuse.
That's
but
wrong.
a doink to a camel, who fucking knows, dude?
It's the terminology.
Yeah, like there's a joke. I think Nick Swartzen said if they would have called it crackle, it wouldn't have seemed so bad. Like, oh yeah, my uncle's addicted to crackle. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I need some crackle.
The terminology is a big deal. It's different.
Like we could do a whole. Maybe we'll do
terminology.
That. Yeah, because I've heard stuff like you wake up in the morning, like morning, to go to your job to earn a living. There's all this weird stuff. I don't know.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do it.
Season 2.
Season
we'll
2,
drop that
episode 1, possibly terminology.
Maybe.
There's a rapper named Terminology, and it'd be cool as fuck if we could do it with him.
Let's do it. Hashtag that dude.
You guys need to help us make it happen. No, I'm just kidding. Twitter him. No, I'm just kidding.
Twitter?
So yeah, hey, so this season's been great.
I had a great time, man.
We've talked about a lot of stuff. So out of the first season, we want to know what you guys like the most. I would say the first season was also a testing ground.
Kind of a learning process because, I don't know, the sound was rough on a few. You know, we had to get it going. And we even tried this before. We've mentioned that a few times, but we tried this before. It didn't work. We've been talking about doing a podcast for, I don't know, like a year or something. I don't know. It's been a while.
It might be. But we're here.
But we did it, and we hope you liked it. Leave comments. Let us know what we could do to make it better. We're trying, man.
You know, like, the only way to truly time travel is to have a memory of the past.
Hashtag?
Well, think about it. I do this. I think, okay, I'm on a long drive.
Damn, dude, you fucking
I'm in a land, dude. This is deep, bro. I'm driving to Vegas. It's a 4-hour drive.
Okay.
When I start that drive in my head, I say, I'm just gonna mentally place myself in Vegas already. And when I get to Vegas, I think, oh yeah, just like I did, I'm here. And I think, what if I just time traveled in essence? Because I reflected,
really,
I reflected on the
4
thought.
Hour drive. You did not time travel. I will not take
But time only exists because in our brain. So when you say that before you start going somewhere, and then you get there and you confirm, yeah, I just time traveled. You void the time in between.
Time exists not because we label it time. It exists because things happen, and that is time. We give it this arbitrary 1 to 12, and we time it. But time is a thing that does exist. After enough of it, we won't be here on this planet anymore. That must be a calculable element.
Unless because
technically,
season
dog,
2,
you just
bro.
drove for 4 hours. Season 2, you drove for 4 hours, bro. That you did not time travel. I don't want to be disrespectful.
I traveled. Time was
and it
happening.
took time to do it.
And
if you want to be, if a word
mentally, I time travel. But I think, you know what? I'm just gonna leave season 1.
Enjoy the ride.
Just to end season 1.
Enjoy the ride.
The quote for season 1 is, time traveling is possible when you're having a memory.
The mind,
right?
The way you perceive time, this was an interesting study I read. The way your mind perceives time varies based on interest. So that's why it seems like it's lagging or it's taking forever. It's because your mind has a perception that it's taking forever. And if something's going fast, you're like, oh, it was so much fun. It was a good time. And it's over already because your mind perceives it that way. Your mind can only make up so much based on the senses that it gives it visually, sound, everything. So it has to make a guess based on the limited amount of resources that we have to take in our surroundings. And your mind has to make up everything else. That's why like illusions fuck with you and things like that. Look that shit up. I think those are the
Object permanence.
Those are the hashtags. Is you know what I'm saying?
Vegas?
And look that shit up.
When Vegas, don't they work solely off of making you not know what time it is?
Yeah, they pump oxygen in there and they don't have any clocks anywhere.
I hope they'd pump oxygen in there.
No, like literal like more oxygen in its purest form. Because what we're breathing is not.
That's dope.
What we're breathing is not full on oxygen.
To do that. I want everywhere to do that for me though.
Well, it's poisonous if we have too much legitimate oxygen. That's why you can get fucked up just straight breathing oxygen.
They have oxygen bars.
Yeah.
Is it bad for you?
I don't think it's. I don't know. I don't think it's bad for you, but it does mess you up. Your brain isn't because your brain isn't used to it. Well, I don't know about it. Yeah, why not?
I tried it once.
Depends on how you get down.
I tried it once. It was cherry flavored.
I didn't do that. I have done the oxygen thing. Just chiefing it for like a fat minute, and you feel lightheaded, kind of like a cigarette, maybe. I don't know, but I never tried a flavored one.
That's what people should get into, man.
Flavored oxygen.
Just flavored oxygen, dude.
Then they'll ban the flavors.
let's just do flavored oxygen, guys. Breathe flavored shit. All right, so
this was a good time.
It was a good time.
We appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back next season.
Don't smoke black market cartridges, at least for the next 6 months.
Probably. Do what you want, but be smart about it.
But be smart. But don't. But I said not to do it. I'm saying you probably shouldn't.
I'm saying, ask questions if you think it's fine. Whatever. Probably not. But it's based on research.
Questions are only as good as the answering
do
party.
Research. Well, that's the point. If you have a question, hopefully you'd have the initiative to do
some
research. That's
what it is. Do some research.
I think research is cool, man. Anyway, this was the Jerid and Brian show. We really appreciate you being here. I'm Brian.
I'm Jerid. This was season 1. 10 episodes. Season 2 coming soon.
That explosion seemed premature because more was added. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like when you say goodbye to somebody and you keep walking with them.
Yeah, we've done that before.
And it's like,
all right.
We already said goodbye.
Do you keep talking?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Should we just end this?
I'm probably gonna end it.
It's just gonna end somewhere.
All right, guys. It's just really hard to end an era like season 1 has been. So comment your favorite episode, your favorite topics you like to hear about. What shirt you think I look the best in? I only own like 5 of them, so I gave you a couple opportunities to see me in each.
The shirt thing was weird, man. Because you only have so many shirts.
I do.
I mean, well, you is in the general you. Like I like that you took that, but I'm saying me too.
I have 5.
How many shirts? I only got a handful.
I gotta do laundry more than once a week. All right, we gotta end this. It's been fun. Peace out, guys.
Cheers.